Hey everyone, Charlie Morgan here, and in this video I'm going to show you how I plan to make $30 million a year from my info business. Now this is a little different to the usual videos that I make because I'm going to talk about my company and how I monetize my audience and my customers to make more money and basically make a shit ton of profit. And so what I'm going to do in this video is basically walk you through the products that I'm selling. And I know this is going to seem like a pitch or it's going to seem like some sort of sales pitch, but really what I want to do is walk you through how I've restructured my entire company around my product suites and how that's basically helping me double, if not really triple my business in 2026. Let me explain. So the real problem faced by most online digital businesses these days, whether it's selling agency services, information, or any other sort of make money online service-based business, is the fact that customers are getting very, very difficult to acquire. And it's still not impossible to acquire customers, but the reason behind this is because the market is losing a lot of trust. Testimonials don't really have as much weight as they used to anymore. And guarantees also don't have as much weight as they used to anymore. And that's because a lot of people with guarantees and testimonials have ripped a lot of people off and ran for the hills. And so what are we left with? Like if trust makes it really hard to acquire a client, if testimonials are getting harder to work with, and if guarantees aren't really as effective anymore, then we're really only left with one thing, and that thing is value. Because, you know, if you can deliver value to someone, then you don't really necessarily have to have a guarantee. You don't really need to have testimonials because they are the testimonial, and also you do not need to worry about trust because you can add value. And so the question becomes, well, how do I add value without adding a customer? And my answer to this question for my business specifically, and bear in mind, this is only because I want to go to multi-eight figures. If you're starting, you do not need to do this. But what I've done is I've launched a free course. And in this free course, basically what I do is walk people through how to start an agency or coaching or consulting business, okay? It's how to start a business from scratch. And by doing this, this is now my primary main funnel for my product. Because I've come to the conclusion, having been in this space for honestly nearly 10 years now, in the agency consulting space for 10 years, that the people who acquire the most trust are the people that add the most value. And then the new commodity for conversion is trust. It used to be the fact that the person who had the most testimonials got the most clients, or the person who had the most outlandish guarantee got the most clients, or the person who straight up just like had the best reputation got the most clients. The reputation thing still counts for a lot, but let me put something into perspective for you. I've been running ads for 3 years. I've been spending millions of dollars on ads every year. And I have more testimonials than anybody else in the market. I have better guarantees and better social proof and better case studies. And I have hundreds of client interviews. I have an insane reputation for results. And the business is sound, and we got a lot of trust in the market, right? The reputation is solid. 900 Trustpilot reviews, you name it. And for us, what we've observed slowly over the course of the last couple of years is a gradual rise in cost per booking, cost per show, and cost per acquisition. And this isn't necessarily for any fault of our own, because everybody else in this space is also experiencing the same thing. What this is called is market maturity. And I think I'm putting all my bets on the only way to resolve this, and for me to effectively monopolize this entire industry, is value. And so what I've done, and I saw this coming about 18 months ago, honestly 2 years ago I started seeing it before everyone was talking about these things. And I set to work on building a completely free program, which by the way is available in the link in the description. And what we basically do in this program is walk people through a 6-week process with extremely long, detailed videos on how to start a business. And what we've already seen, this thing's been live for a few days, and we've already had 2 sales come in. We've already made like 15K from these sales and stuff like that. And so this is a massive trust builder because it adds so much value. And what a lot of people do with free courses, and the mistake people make, is they make a free course, but it's just some shiny object that they don't plan on building or growing. This thing is an evergreen program that I can milk for 5+ years. Nothing about this is going to change. The principles are the same. And I spent a year of my life building this, which means that I can generate so much trust with the market. My plan is to literally have 1 million people go through this thing in our space. That's basically everyone in this industry. And if I can introduce 1 million people to the agency coaching consulting game, or take everyone in the agency coaching consulting game and put them through this program, or at least have them experience the value of it, that positions me, my company, my products and my offers on a pedestal that cannot be beaten. This is how I've monopolized, or will probably monopolize my industry. Because in order to beat me now, someone has to produce a better program for the BizOp barrier to entry, low level thing, and they have to make it cheaper. And they can't make it cheaper because this is free, and they can't make it better because I literally spent 14 months building this. I nearly hospitalized myself with the amount of burnout I experienced from getting this done in a year. And you might be thinking, how the hell does it take a year to build a course? But it's when you're making 5-hour videos on discipline that literally, this video alone, for example, took me a month. Like you can kind of see the theme here, the quality, the depth. And so basically, the reason that I've done this, and the reason this at the beginning is one of the keys to me hitting $30 million a year, is because everyone else in the space right now is looking at this and thinking, nah, I'm out. I can't compete with this. And that's exactly what you want. And the reason I made this program free and the reason I made it better than everything else out there, like you could take the value from every other free course or every other low-level 997 course combined, and it still wouldn't beat this. And so this is now my moat. And this is the first step in my plan to monopolize this industry and effectively make $30 million a year by selling information to agency owners, coach consultants on how to get clients. So that's step number one. And we've already got 10,000 people in here. It's spreading like wildfire. And you can only imagine the reaction of the market is like, why the hell is this free? And the answer is pretty clear. I've just given it to you, right? And so, yeah, that's step number one. Now, what I've also done is, in conjunction with building the free program, I've also built 3 new products as well. So what I used to do is I used to run all of my traffic through to something called EasyGrow, which was my initial sort of, a lot of you will be familiar with this. It was my initial program that taught agency owners, coach consultants how to systemize client acquisition. We've revamped EasyGrow into something that is more AI based and more organic based. And it's EasyGrow 2.0. And what we're doing, and by the way, I'm not trying to hard pitch you here. I'm just telling you my strategy, right? And I know it feels like a pitch, but I couldn't give 2 shits if you click a link or not. I don't care. But what EasyGrow 2.0 basically is it's a program again. But what it is it's focused specifically on organic client acquisition with advanced sales strategies utilizing AI. And so what I've done in Imperium Academy, and I'll be transparent with you here, is we've got a module on how to book appointments. And this appointment booking training is still more detailed and still more thorough than anything else you'd find that's free or $997, if that makes sense. However, these systems, they will get you so far. They'll help you get a client or 2. They'll help you sort of, build some systems to get some clients in the door. But what I've naturally done by taking people through a 6-week process, showing them how to get their first couple of clients, is once you get a client or 2, you're hooked, you want more. And so that's why EasyGrow is where it is, which is then positioned as one up above the academy. It's like, hey, you've used this free course, you've got a couple of clients, you've got a few $1,000s coming in a month now. Now it's time to level up and grow up, right? And that's what EasyGrow 2.0 is basically for. And so EasyGrow 2.0 is continuously referred to throughout the academy. In fact, in the introduction video of the academy, I literally say, and we can see if we can find this here. I literally say in the introduction video why it's free and what I want people to buy and why I want people to buy EasyGrow, right? And so everyone in here isn't complaining that I'm pitching them because I've told them I'm going to. And so every video in the academy is obviously directly CTA'd to an EasyGrow funnel, and we're already booking a ton of calls. And it's been week 1, so it's already working. So that's EasyGrow. And what then happens, and this is what I've realized, is getting a customer these days, right? Getting just one customer is getting trickier. And so what that means is growing a business in this space is not about acquiring more customers. Because look, the simple math here is very straightforward. It's far easier to, like, instead of adding one customer, it's just easy to multiply how much that customer is worth. And so, like, I'm at the point now where I've signed consistently about 100 clients a month, give or take 80 clients a month, 90 clients a month, 110 clients a month for a long time. And that has given me a sort of 800K to 900K a month cash collected, like, revenue rate for the business. And it's dipped and it's peaked and it's troughed, but we've been at that sort of 8-figure mark for a while. And initially, when I was planning to grow my business, I was looking at basically, I want to double my business. I want to triple my business. So I was looking at, how do I get 200 customers a month? How do I get 300 customers a month? And to do this, the math of how much you have to spend on ads, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work out. You get this diminishing returns kick in, your frequency on ad spend spikes. You can't build setting infrastructure that's strong enough to support that because you have to manage like a 30-man team. It's crazy. I've tried it. And so what I realized is that if I want to go from, let's just say, 1 mil a month to 3 mil a month, and that's my goal, I don't do this by getting 3 times the customers. Okay? What I do is I do it by getting 3 times the worth per customer. Okay? And so this is why I revamped EasyGrow 2.0. But then what I've also done is add 2 more products to the suite, which work in a ladder format. And so the one up from Easy Grow is called Acquisition Nirvana. So Easy Grow is, again, what I've done here, and I've realized that to get to multi-8 figures in this space specifically, you need to have something to sell at every level. And so if someone wants to work with me, they can do it if they're a beginner, they can do it if they're intermediate, they can do it if they're advanced, and they can do it if they're really great in their niche, right? And so what Acquisition Nirvana basically is it's a step up from Easy Grow. And in Acquisition Nirvana, what we do is we talk about how to build an info business and scale out of done for you and scale out of one-on-one coaching. I then show them how to build appointment setting teams and sales teams to remove themselves from the front end acquisition. Then we're talking about how to run ads and how to scale with ads and also how to systemize service delivery for agencies. And so again, you can sort of see how if someone hops on a sales call for me, like initially what we did is we only had the option to sell them one thing. And so we were basically for a year or two just putting like, you know, the phrase we used in the company is square pegs in round holes. We were putting people into Easy Grow who would have got value from Easy Grow and who Easy Grow would have helped, but it would have been way better if we segregated the products as we've done now and have different sales arguments at different levels of competency for the person we're talking to. And it's been really helpful. And so we have this, and you know, Acquisition Nirvana is constantly call to action throughout Easy Grow. And you know, the sales team, the setters, everyone's on top of clients like, hey, do you want to upsell? Do you want to upsell? And again, it's crucial to understand that the upsell game and the game of getting people to buy the next thing only works if your first product works. You can't upsell people off of shit, which is why Imperium Academy had to be the best thing in the world at what it does, which is helping people start a business. There is no, and you won't see this now because we've only got 10,000 people in here, but by the end of next year, 2026, mark my words, this will be the largest community ever to have been made, the largest thing anyone's ever done on how to start a business. It will be bigger than anything. And that's because the market will gravitate towards value as opposed to shiny objects. I'm not going to market this with a Lamborghini. I'm not going to market it with a Rolex. I'm not going to market it with a Dubai lifestyle or a vlog. I'm just going to make valuable videos and send people through to the value, and the market will take care of the rest. And that's the best strategy to win. And so, you know, we have these products, and so Acquisition Nirvana, they upsell to there. And this is basically how, if I can get a bunch of people who buy Easy Grow to then buy Acquisition Nirvana, I effectively double how much each customer is worth to me. And so instead of having to sign double the customers, I just sell them twice. It's way easier to sell one person two things than it is to sell two people one thing. Does that make sense? And so from Acquisition Nirvana, we then have high ticket heaven. And so obviously the price rung is exponential here because we go from free to sort of entry level, how to get clients in the business, to more advanced, how to run ads and get more advanced ad systems and team systems and transition to a better business model. And then we have high ticket heaven. And high ticket heaven is basically exclusively for people in the space, entrepreneurs in the space who are already making like 20, 30K a month, multi-six figures or more, and want to get to 8 figures. Like this is sort of like, in high ticket heaven, we're talking like one-on-one support with me, like support strategy calls with me, direct access to me through Slack, like private Slack channel access to my entire C-suite, my CMO, my CSO, my data manager, my business partner. Like this is like where we kind of incubate businesses, and we're very picky with who we choose to work with here because we do one-on-ones with them and stuff. And we also have like live events in this as well. And so like, you know, we host events at the moment. We have like 60, 70 people we've got coming up in New York in December. And you know, it's a support incubator place for people who have our products to go and basically get like really fast results, but also to like meet in person, have socials and just connect and have fun. And so, you know, it like naturally what happens is people who get results in Acquisition Nirvana then inquire about high ticket heaven, and we kind of have got this flywheel going. And, you know, the cool thing about this, and I'll leave you with this in closing, and the reason this strategy works is when you have a suite of products, what happens is if someone, let's say someone buys high ticket heaven, right? And it's for some reason it's not reloading, but let's say someone buys high ticket heaven. What we can do is we can say, if you buy high ticket heaven, you also get access to Acquisition Nirvana, Easy Grow, and of course Imperium Academy. And you can then take the value of the products underneath the high ticket one and make it sound like they're getting way more than they are. And that is exactly what they're getting. Like and I'm not going to give you prices here because that's just a cardinal sin of marketing, but let's say that Easy Grow and Acquisition Nirvana combined was 50 grand, and by the way, they're not. And let's say that high ticket heaven was 100 grand, which by the way, it's not. It might be in the future. I don't know. Like it probably won't. But what I could say is, look, you buy high ticket heaven for 100 grand, and not only do you get everything in high ticket heaven, but you also get Nirvana and Easy Grow as well, which means that for 100 grand, you're actually getting 150 grand of value, if that makes sense. That's a pretty cool sales argument. And so what this allows me to do is be significantly more dynamic with my marketing. It means that I can be broader. It means that I can take all of my business opportunity traffic, my biz op traffic, my beginner traffic, and actually begin to nurture it. And what Academy basically is it's a nurturing machine. I'm, looking at the community. I'm like observing like what people are doing, and this thing's like, really starting to develop and grow, And so from this, we won't see the true effect of the Academy on the business for 6 months. It's not going to be until, it's October now, we won't see it for like 6 months, end of Q1 26, that we'll really start to see like many units of Easy Grow coming in. And then from those units, and then people will just eventually like want to get to the end result. And we're already seeing this happen, and it's working really well. And my business is about to grow exponentially because of these things. And I've been carefully engineering all of these products over the last, year. And I'll leave you with this in closing. I've said that already, but like when you want to grow a business, right? There's two ways to really grow a business. You can focus on the marketing, and you can focus on the product. And the thing is, like, you obviously want to do both. But my strategy for growing this business and getting to multi-8 figures is doing it with my product, not my marketing. Now, my marketing to get to multi-8 figures has to be A-star, top tier. I have to be one of the best marketers in the world to get this done, because ultimately I'm selling words, I'm selling videos. And to do that, you have to be an insanely talented marketer. And so the thing is a lot of people, they base their strategies on growth around marketing. They base it around their launches. They base it around their landing pages. And then all that marketing is sent through to some shitty product that doesn't really deliver results and just results in their reputation being tarnished. That works for maybe 5 years tops. And if you don't believe me, just go and look at what happened to Ty Lopez. Look at what happened to Taylor Welch. Look at what happened to all these gurus. And I hate to paint the word guru on anyone, but look at people that, honestly, like when you think about them, that you have this taste. Like Dan Locke is another example. Like you just think like, oh, like these people that were around and they were very good marketers, and they based their entire business acumen and strategy on marketing, and all that traffic was sent to products that just weren't very good. And after probably about 3 to 5 years, it blows up in their face, and then they're either being sued by the SEC, or they get CoffeeZillaed and someone makes a video on how they're a scammer, and then people just lose respect for them. When you do the product thing, you will make less money in the short term. That's a fact. Like, I've just spent the last 12 months of my life focused on product, not marketing. And that has cost me in the moment dearly. But what it means is that by focusing on this product, I can run this business for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I can use these products and I can use the assets that I've built in my communities to go on to build software businesses, to go on to build platform businesses. I can use them to raise funds for businesses. Like, the amount of leverage you have when you effectively monopolize a market through product and value is so much more significant to just cashing out in the short term for marketing. I don't want to play this game for another 5 years. I want to play this game for another 50. And I'm not saying that I'll be doing the course selling info game forever. But my point is that the next thing I do, the next move I make, will be very closely tied to my circle of competence in B2B acquisition, in info, in coaching, in consulting, in the agency world. And the next thing I do that will get me to that $1 billion valuation, which is what I'm chasing at the moment and always will be, I can use my products and my current business as a springboard. And so right now I've got Imperium Acquisition, and the crucial thing to me for Imperium Acquisition is the reputation. And the reputation, it comes from the product. Okay? And if I can get this right, if I can get this reputation for this thing to be insane, then what I can do is I can use Imperium Acquisition as a springboard to go to my next business, which I can then value at $1 billion and cash out. And that's how I'm playing the game. And that's my first step to getting to 30 mil a year, but then eventually using that money and that authority and that brand and all of that trust, and I will convert it into that. That's the play. By the way, if you want access to Imperium Academy, it's free. You don't have to buy anything. There's no credit card. You can just click the link in the description, set up an account, and consume 80 hours of business content from me on A to Z, how to start a business, with everything from how to get client results through to how to fix your brain, to how to like this. Let me give you one more example. This video here is on how to research a niche. It's nearly it's 2.5 hours long, and I've created entire proper length resources for everything. And this was horrible to do. I've got daily immersion protocols in here. I show people how to validate their problem and find a solution to it. And Here's how to like immerse yourself in the niche, and here's exactly what you have to do. And the funny thing is that this video alone probably took me more time to make than most people spend on their paid products. I'll just let you think about that for a bit. Cheers.